My mom gave my son's 10th birthday present to my sister's kid right in front of him. Her reason? Only well-behaved kids deserve gifts. I stayed calm and smiled. But when my son later asked, "Is Grandma mad at me?" I broke a little inside. I just hugged him and said, "No, she just forgot. My name's Matthew. I'm 36, a handyman with a beat-up white van, and a list of regular clients who know I show up on time and don't leave until the leak stops or the door closes right. But before anything else, I'm a dad. My son Leo turned 10 last Saturday. He likes Lego, soccer, and the way a fresh pizza box fogs his glasses when he lifts the lid too close. We did his birthday party at my mom's house. It'll be nice to have everyone under one roof, she'd insisted. Family. That word always came with strings in my family. You just couldn't see them until they tightened. The living room was crowded with balloons, paper plates, and half-inflated tin-foil numbers that kept listing left. My sister, Kelsey, showed up 20 minutes late with her son, Owen, who's the same age as Leo but, well, louder. He sprinted in, grabbed the good seat on the sofa, and peeled off a streamer while Kelsey pretended not to notice. Mom came down the hallway holding a glossy blue box with a silver bow. That smile she uses when there's an audience was plastered on her face. "Let's do presents," she clapped. Leo stood in front of her like he'd practiced in the mirror. "Thank you, Grandma," he said, cheeks pink. "He's a good kid. Too good for what came next." Mom looked at him, then at Owen, and her mouth tightened. "Only well-behaved kids deserve gifts," she said, soft but sharp. Like she wanted it to sting without making a scene. Then she turned and handed the box to Owen. "Here, you be careful with it." The room went quiet in that weird, heavy way. My ears rang. Kelsey did a fake laugh. "Mom," I started. She lifted a hand. "Matthew, he talked back earlier." He slammed a door. "I won't reward bad manners." Leo stared at the floor. That hurt more than anything. He didn't argue. He didn't cry. He just got small. I smiled. It wasn't real. It was the kind you wear when your jaw is locked. I cut the cake. I poured the soda. I made nice with the relatives who like to remind me I'm so handy, you should take a look at my porch sometime. I didn't make a scene. I never do. On the drive home, Leo watched streetlights slide across the window. "Is Grandma mad at me?" he asked. "No, buddy," I said, my throat tight. "She just forgot who pays her mortgage." He frowned. "What?" "Nothing," I said. "We'll talk later." We got home. I took the trash out. I put the leftover pizza in the fridge. I stood at the sink and looked at my hands. They're cracked in the cold and nicked from old screws. I rubbed the spot where a drill slipped last month and left a shiny crescent scar. When the mortgage came due again a few days later, my phone lit up so fast it looked like it was on fire. 102 missed calls by noon. "Call me now." "Matthew, answer." "You can't be serious." The group chat pinged like a smoke alarm. I wiped my hands on a shop towel and finally picked up. That was the first time I said no out loud. People like to talk about boundaries like they're a trendy hobby, like crochet or pickleball. For me, they've been a tab I kept promising to close after just one more click. It started years ago. Dad left when I was 19. No big speech, no note, just a quiet garage and an empty space on the pegboard where his favorite wrench used to hang. Mom cried in the kitchen for a month and then switched to being angry at the world. There was a mortgage and a roof that leaked every spring. I fixed both. One with a tarp and a ladder. The other with overtime and cheap meals. I moved out but not far. I was the one with the tools, the truck, the "can you swing by," that turned into 3 hours of unpaid labor. "You're so good at this stuff," Mom would say, handing me a cold coffee once I was already on the roof. Compliment as currency. When Kelsey got pregnant young and the boyfriend ditched, I built a crib out of pine. When she decided Owen needed a private school for structure, guess who picked up the registration fee? Just this once. When Mom's water heater died, I hauled a new one up the basement stairs alone and had bruises that looked like a map for a week. I didn't mind, not at first. It felt like doing the right thing. Then it started to feel like my job. And then, like my fault if I ever said I was tired. Money was always the quiet third person at our table. Mom worked front desk at a dentist for years, then her hours got cut. Kelsey bounced between salon work and trying an online course. I built my handyman business from word of mouth and long Saturdays. I wasn't rich, but I was steady. Steady gets noticed in a family like mine the way a full fridge does. Useful, assumed, invisible. 3 years ago, Mom fell behind on the mortgage after a car repair and a dental bill hit in the same week. She called me crying. "They'll take the house," she said. "This is where you kids grew up." "I'll help," I said without thinking. I set up autopay from my account to cover the difference. I told myself it was temporary. She told me she'd pay me back. She didn't. We never spoke about it again except when her tone got sugary. My lifesaver, she'd say when I changed a light bulb like the bulb in the house were the same thing. Kelsey got used to it faster than Mom. You're doing amazing, she'd tell me. Then send me a Zelle request for Owen's camp deposit with 3 heart emojis. If I pushed back, she'd go quiet for a day and then send a voice note. I just thought you, of all people, would understand how hard it is. The group chat was a whole other circus. Mom's updates, Kelsey's selfies, distant relatives chiming in with, proud of this family, whenever someone posted a casserole. If I didn't answer immediately, Mom would text me separately. Is everything okay with you? You've been distant. Distant as in not paying for something yet. Last winter, when business dipped, I told Mom I might have to reduce what I covered for a month. She didn't ask if I was okay. She said, well, I hope you're not being dramatic. Your sister's relying on you too. Relying on me for what? I asked. Just things, she said. She has a lot on her plate. Be generous. Who's generous to me? I said, but I said it under my breath. There were little cuts that added up. Like the time I replaced Mom's back door and she told everyone at Easter that Uncle Tim had helped her get it done because he'd lent her his tape measure 12 years ago. Or when I got Leo a new bike and Kelsey sniffed, must be nice, and then asked if I could cover Owen's soccer fees again because it's unfair if only one cousin gets to do things. I tried to keep the peace. I swallowed a lot. I kept counting how many months until the mortgage might be small enough to hand back to her. Then came Leo's 10th birthday and the blue box with the bow in Mom's voice. Only well-behaved kids deserve gifts. Here's the part that matters. Leo didn't slam a door. He closed it because Owen kept following him into the bathroom and flipping the light off. Leo said, stop, and shut the door. That was it. Mom decided it was a disrespect plot. After the party, my phone buzzed with a text from Mom. We need to talk about Leo's attitude. Then Kelsey, you know Owen didn't mean anything. He's just spirited. Maybe Leo could be more flexible. Flexible like my knees when I'm crawling under a sink. Like my bank account when there's pinches. I didn't answer that night. I sat at my kitchen table with the stack of transfer confirmations I'd saved because I'm not stupid. Every mortgage payment. Every school fee. Every Zelle request with a heart emoji. I added them up with a stubby pencil Leo uses for homework. The number made my jaw click. I stared at it and thought about the way Mom's eyes slid past Leo when he blew out his candles. Then the little greasy things started showing up. I noticed the lock on my van had fresh scratches, the kind someone makes trying the wrong key. I found my spare cordless drill in Kelsey's trunk when she asked me to help her move a dresser and the back popped open. Oh, I meant to ask, she said. She hadn't meant to ask. It would have just lived there until I went looking. Mom posted a photo of Owen in that blue box hoodie with the caption, my good boy. No mention of Leo. Nothing about his day. In the comments, Aunt Carol wrote, Grandma knows best. I put my phone face down and stared at the ceiling like it could explain why a person lets themselves be treated like a walking debit card with a toolbox. Payday came around. My autopay reminder for Mom's mortgage popped up. I clicked pause. It felt like removing a splinter. Sharp then clean. An hour later, Mom texted. Everything still set for the 15th? I put the phone in my pocket and went to install a mail slot for Mrs. Diaz. It was cold, the kind that makes your breath look like you're telling secrets. I finished, took cash, and wrote a receipt on a piece of cardboard because my printer's always out of ink. That night, I told Leo what I should have told him a long time ago, in words he could hold. You didn't do anything wrong, bud. Grown-ups can be wrong and loud at the same time. He nodded. Are we not going to Grandma's anymore? He asked. We'll see, I said. But we are going to the park Saturday and you're picking the pizza toppings. He smiled. Small at first, then bigger. It felt like someone finally turned the light on in a room I was working in. When mortgage day hit, the call started. At first it was 1, then 5, then 20. Mom. Kelsey. Unknown numbers that were probably Mom calling from the office phone, the neighbor's landline, a borrowed cell. Anything to get through. I set the phone on the workbench and kept sanding. Sawdust fell in little gold drifts. The phone vibrated until it slid against a screw and thunked to a stop. I let the calls pile up until the number looked fake. 102. Then I picked up. Matthew. Mom's voice landed hard. All brittle sugar. Why is the mortgage payment missing? I paused it. You what? It wasn't confusion. It was disbelief that I had the nerve to do anything but comply. I paused my portion. I'm not paying it this month. Or next month. There was a silence that felt like a storm backing up on the highway. You can't just. She exhaled sharply. Do you want me to lose the house? Your childhood home? Are you punishing me because I disciplined your son? Is that what this is? It's because I've been paying your mortgage for 3 years, I said, calm like reading instructions. It's because you handed my kid's birthday gift to another child and said he didn't deserve presents. It's because I'm not an ATM. You're being dramatic, she snapped. You know I'll pay you back when things settle. This is temporary. I looked at the spreadsheet open on my kitchen counter. You've said temporary 38 times. You're keeping score now? She said, scoffing. Wow. I've always kept score, I said. I just didn't show you the scoreboard. She switched tactics. What about your sister? She relies on your help for Owen's school. He needs stability. Leo needs stability, I said. He needs to know his dad will stand up for him. So, you're going to let your mother sink because your feelings are hurt? I didn't raise my voice. No. I'm going to let adults handle their own bills. From the background I heard Kelsey. Put him on speaker. Matthew, she said brightly. The way you talk to a customer you're about to upsell. Let's not make this ugly. Owen's tuition is due. Mom's mortgage is due. You've always helped. What changed? I watched my son get smaller in your mother's living room, I said. That changed. Oh my God, she said, laughing like a person who laughs at the wrong part of a movie. This is about a hoodie? You're going to blow up the family over a hoodie? This is about respect, I said. And money and how the two have to live in the same house. Kelsey huffed. If you're trying to punish us, it won't work. We'll figure it out. Good, I said. Figure it out. Mom came back on, voice lower. You're going to regret this. When they put a notice on my door, the neighbors will see. You'll be the one who made that happen. Mom, I said gently. The bank puts the notice on the door. Not me. Are you proud of yourself? She asked. Because I hope this is worth it. I looked at Leo's science project drying on the counter, a cardboard volcano with red paint pooling at the base. He'd been worried it wouldn't erupt on cue. We tested it 3 times until it worked every time. I said. I'm proud I'm finally doing the right thing. Matthew, she said, voice breaking into anger again. After everything I've done for you? I honestly tried to think of what she meant. I waited, gave her space to say it. She didn't. Just breathing. Just the sound of Kelsey whispering, he's lost it. I ended the call. I typed into the family group chat. Effective today, I'm out of the Bank of Matthew business. Mortgage, tuition, fees, not my responsibility. Attached is a summary of what I've covered since 2022. Going forward, please do not ask me for money, tools, or my time without offering payment and a schedule. Also, do not disrespect my kid in front of me again. If you do, we leave. That's the boundary. I attached the spreadsheet. Dates, amounts, notes. Blue Hoodie Day was not on the list, but it was the headline in my head. The explosion was immediate. Aunt Carol, family doesn't keep receipts. Cousin Drew, this is tacky. Mom, delete that now. Kelsey, you're sick. You need therapy. Leo wandered into the kitchen, rubbing sleep out of his eyes. Morning, he said. I put the phone down and poured cereal. It pinged through breakfast, through dishes, through a sink repair across town where the client kept apologizing for calling me on short notice. You're fine, I told her, and I meant it. It felt good to help someone who said thank you, like it was a word and not a leash. At lunch my phone rang again. A known number. I wouldn't have answered if I'd known it was the bank. A calm woman with a calm voice informed me the mortgage was 30 days behind already, before my part. Mom had told me it was only a few days late. The calm woman mentioned foreclosure timelines, options, and co-signers. I'm not on the loan, I said. No, she said, but your name is on the payment history. We assume. Assume less, I said, and wrote down the dates anyway. Facts are armor when people throw feelings at your head like rocks. That evening Mom called again. They said they're coming to post a notice next week, she said, not crying but performing it. You want me humiliated? I want you to call the bank and work out a plan, I said. Sell the second car. Ask Kelsey to pick up extra shifts. Stop buying $80 salon shampoo. You have no right, she snapped. I have receipts, I said, and hung up. The first week after I stopped paying, the house was louder and somehow lighter. It's amazing how quiet a phone can be when you don't answer. I changed how I used mine. Do not disturb for everyone but Leo's school and my clients. The group chat became a fish tank I didn't feed. I watched it when I felt petty. Mostly I didn't. I half expected someone to show up at my door. They didn't. Instead they tried other angles. Aunt Carol texted, "Your mother is in pieces." I typed, "She's an adult," and erased it. I wrote, "I hope she calls the bank," and sent that. She replied with a prayer hands emoji and a paragraph about forgiveness. I muted the thread. Kelsey started posting quotes about toxic people, the kind with watercolor backgrounds and curly fonts. One said, "Sometimes the takers call you selfish when you stop giving." I laughed out loud. It felt good in my chest, like coughing when you've needed to for an hour. Then the practical stuff started to shift. I locked my van and moved the spare key. I put a simple camera on my front porch because I was done wondering who touched my tools. I told 2 clients who always forgot their wallet that I now accept payment up front for materials. They paid. They always had the money. They just liked the bargain of my patience. With Mom I was polite and short. She texted a normal thing, "How's Leo?" I answered. If she slipped even one guilt barb into a message, "I guess you're too busy for your mother," I put the phone down and took Leo to the park. We built new routines. Friday became make-your-own pizza night. He shredded cheese and arranged pepperoni like constellations. We watched dumb shows and he narrated the commercials in a British accent for some reason. On Sundays we did project hour. He picked what we fixed. A wobbly chair. A sticky drawer. A skateboard with wheels that sounded like a shopping cart. I taught him the difference between a Phillips and a flathead. He taught me that if you lean your head against the couch arm just so, it's actually pretty comfortable. News traveled without me helping it. Mom called fewer times but posted more. Long posts. It breaks a mother's heart when a child turns away. People she hadn't seen in years commented with hearts. Neighbors asked passive questions when I parked on her street to fix Mrs. Diaz's fence. "Everything okay with your mom?" I said, "She's figuring things out," and left it at that. 2 weeks in, Jess, an old friend who cut my hair in her kitchen to save me a few bucks, texted, "Your sister called me to put a color service on your tab." I sat on the edge of the tub and stared at the message. "What did you do?" I asked. I laughed and said, "I don't have a tab. And even if I did, it would have your name on it, not family." "Thank you," I typed. "Boundaries look good on you," she replied. The notice went up on Mom's door on a Tuesday. Yellow paper, black type. Tape that would rip paint when it came off. I know because she sent a photo to the group chat with the caption, "Thanks, Matthew." I didn't answer. Cousin Drew, cold. Aunt Carol, unbelievable. A neighbor I barely know posted a crying face. "And here if you need anything, sweetie." Kelsey DM'd me separately. "Take it down or I will." I didn't go over. I didn't touch it. I went to Leo's parent-teacher conference and listened to his teacher talk about how he helps another kid with reading without making him feel bad. I watched Leo swing his legs under a too small chair and thought, yeah, this is the house that matters. That Friday night, Kelsey finally called from a number I didn't recognize. I picked up because I was tired of jumping when the phone rang. "What do you want?" she said. "Not hello. It says blocked on my end, so we're already in a mood." "You did this to Mom," she said. "She's sick over it. She can't sleep. Her blood pressure is up. She can also call the bank. She can't afford the payment without you." "She couldn't afford it with me either," I said. "She just postponed the crisis." "You're so cruel." "I changed a policy," I said. "That's not cruelty. That's adulthood." She tried another direction. "You know what Owen asked me today? He asked why Uncle Matthew doesn't love Grandma anymore." My stomach flipped. I let the silence sit there, heavy. "You taught him that," I said finally. "When you use love as a tool." Kelsey scoffed. "We're done here," she said and hung up. We weren't. Not really. A week later she texted. "Can you at least fix the railing on Mom's porch? It's unsafe." I stared at that one for a while. "Send me a time and I'll bill you for materials and labor," I wrote back. She replied with a photo of a middle finger made of emojis. I muted her too. Then something unexpected happened. Mom called me on a Sunday afternoon. Her voice was small. "I talked to the bank," she said. "They can do a trial plan. It's still a lot." "That's good," I said. "It's a start. A beat." "I sold the Honda," she added. "I didn't want to, but the insurance was killing me. I can manage with my coworker driving me twice a week. We'll see." "That's smart," I said, and I meant it. She cleared her throat. "There's something else. The other day, Owen took Leo's hat and wouldn't give it back." Kelsey laughed. Leo looked. I saw his face. "I told Owen to return it. He threw it. I made him pick it up and say sorry." I pictured my mother's hallway. I pictured her hand on a kid's shoulder. I pictured her looking at a boy who isn't mine and seeing the boy she'd made small last month. Thank you, I said. I'm not apologizing for the birthday, she said quickly. He slammed the door. He closed the door, I said. And we're not doing this again. A long exhale. Fine. Then almost so quiet I missed it. He's a good boy. Yeah, I said. He is. That night Leo and I made pizza. He arranged pepperoni to spell 10 in the middle. He laughed at his own joke like it was the first time anyone had done numbers with meat. It was, at least in our kitchen. 2 more weeks. The group chat cooled. The quotes dried up. The prayer hands moved on to someone's sprained ankle. The yellow paper came off Mom's door. In its place, a new, smaller note taped from the inside. Please use side entrance. It made me smile for a dumb reason. Mom choosing a way forward even if it was sideways. Work got busier. A client referred me to a property manager who liked that I answer with a time window and show up at the start of it. I raised my rates $10 an hour. No one blinked. I bought Leo a winter coat that actually fits his arms and doesn't make him look like a marshmallow. When I paid at the register, I didn't think about who else needed money. I thought about how he'd wear it to the park and zip it to his chin. One night late, I got a text from an unknown number. I'm Kelsey's friend. Just so you know, she's been telling everyone you cut her off because she wouldn't lend you money. People are starting to see through it. She borrowed from 2 of us and never paid back. You're not crazy. I stared at the ceiling. I didn't need the validation, but it landed in a soft place anyway. Not crazy. Just done. The next morning, Mom sent a photo. It was Leo and Owen on her couch, each with a bowl of popcorn. Leo's hat was on his head. Owen's elbow was far away from Leo's arm. The caption said, "Movie night." No pointed comments, no quotes. Just 2 kids, 1 frame. I kept it. The line still echoes. Only well-behaved kids deserve gifts. Usually when I'm in a hardware aisle. Then I see Leo at the park yelling, "Dad, watch." And my jaw unclenches. Do I feel guilty? Sometimes. But I've got space now. In my wallet. My calendar. In my head. I fix my own stuff. I sit on the floor and build with Leo. Phone face down. Something falls, we rebuild. Mom and I keep it short. No money talk. She asks about work. I pass along hellos. If a guilt hook shows up, I let it drop. Kelsey and I are polite. Sometimes she sends a photo of the boys. I hit hard and move on. I kept the spreadsheet in a folder labeled Old Business. When the voice says I overreacted, I look at the numbers and think, no, I waited too long. The point is simple. I won't bankroll my own disrespect. I won't teach my kid that love equals swallowing anything. His self-worth isn't for trade. On Leo's real birthday we walked, just us. Are we still going to Grandma sometimes? He asked. Sometimes, I said. When it feels good. He nodded. Okay. The next day a small package came. No bow. A hoodie in his favorite color. Note for the good boy. No speech. Just right. We hit the park. Dad, watch. I'm watching, I said, and I was. Bills and feelings will keep coming. My answer stays steady. I help when there's respect. No is a full sentence. I love you isn't a coupon. If anyone forgets who pays for their roof, literal or not, I point to my door. It hangs level. The latch clicks. The house smells like Friday pizza and Sunday sawdust. A kid inside knows he deserves gifts because he's loved, not because he performs. It took me 36 years to learn that no is a complete sentence, especially with family. Have you ever had to draw a line like this? Was there a moment when you realized you had to prioritize your own well-being, or your child's, over appeasing others? What happened? I really want to hear your stories in the comments.